So welcome back, guys. Apparently, it's not the grand finals. We are gonna go on into the other semifinals between JusticeSimon and Chappy, and it is gonna be the midpoint mark. We are already done with game number one. Was not broadcast on stream, but here you go with our map pool and our map winner, JusticeSimon, taking that first victory against Chappy on Eternal Empire. Next on the list is gonna be Nightshade, and this is another PVZ, if I remember correctly, from what we showed on the screen. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are tuning on into the second semifinal here on the Al Die Weekly. And the winner of this one gonna be facing off against Quantal in the grand finals. Will we get a PvP between JusticeSimon, or will it be the victor here for our boy in Zerg from the Australian region, Mr. Chappy? Gonna be very interesting though, looking at map picks. It's very standard maps all around. Eternal Empire, pretty solid map pick as well for JusticeSimon. Can go for the drops, can be really pesky. Even though if he's gonna be really trying to fend off against Chappy. But in the meantime, here on Nightshade, I think, like I said earlier on, the Zerg does have a little bit of an edge on a map like this due to the fact that it is very easy to get to the other side, to get to your opponent's base. And our last map, potentially, going to be Everdream, if it happens. If Chappy is able to take this one, it can be Everdream later on into the next. And for the Protoss, it's quite easy to defend, especially up to 3 bases, really quick to wall on in on the second. In the meantime, for the Zerg, it's pretty accessible to actually get on the high ground, so you can really set up a siege kind of gameplay if your opponent decides to wall on in. I feel like we need him for this. Oh no. Oh no, JusticeSimon's the one in DCs. So yeah, we're having a few issues right now in terms of latency, and it seems like one of our players unable to hop into this one. Highly unfortunate if JusticeSimon isn't able to reconnect, because he already takes that one map advantage. And talking about the players, from what I know from JusticeSimon, is actually one of the players I know a little more about on the Vietnamese side, besides me and Micah, of course. For JusticeSimon, he has been one of the up and comers really in the scene. He basically has really improved from his results. He wasn't having too many good results earlier on, and then as it comes to more recent times, he's really showing his stuff. And it goes to show the Vietnamese scene very supportive of one another, very supportive in their strength as well, with the fact that they have these competitions between themselves. They have competitions like this that they have recently opened up to SEA. And they have players that are given the opportunities to grow, just like JusticeSimon. And even that for Chappy, we've talked about him earlier on, and it seems like he's not the one with the latency issues, but he's looking to try and climb back of the 0-1 hole. Will he be able to do it? That's the real question. So we'll wait on for JusticeSimon in just a bit. Hopefully he can come on back. Thank you guys for your patience, and we'll be right back for the other semifinals of the Al Die Weekly. Okay guys, so welcome back and we are finally gonna get into our game number 2. Seems like our lobby is ready to go. Mr. JusticeSimon is into the game. I got a lot of things to say about this guy actually to continue on what I was stating in our pre-game bants. But it's gonna be Protoss versus Zerg yet again, pretty much a matchup that we are seeing a lot here on the Owl Die Weekly. And yes, guys, this is our second semifinal. Winner of this one will take on Quantal in the finals. It's gonna be very interesting how this is gonna go on Nightshade. Quick little recap, JusticeSimon already took the first map of screen. And yes, this is still a BO3. So if Chappy loses out, that's pretty much the show here in our semifinals. If JusticeSimon in the meantime is unable to close it out, well, we are gonna get a game number 3. We'll see though what it's gonna be as we get into our semifinals yet again. It's time to get into the action and move into Nightshade. So welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to our broadcast, and this is the Owl Die Weekly number 28. I'm your caster Daks, and here and now we are gonna have a PVZ on Nightshade LE. Introducing first though, on the top left, the blue Protoss, that is JusticeSimon. And his opponents, on the bottom right, a little bit different this time, gonna be the red Zerg, Chappy. So welcome guys to our BO3, and it's gonna be time to get into the action. So I said before that I do want to talk about Mr. JusticeSimon real quick. One of the fastest growing players in the Vietnamese scene. Really big strides in terms of improvement. The whole regional scene can attest to that. And right now, part of the Alpha X Academy squad, really going to show his progress has been noticed by one of the bigger teams in the SC2 scene. Beyond that though, he has been able to really compete in multiple regional tournaments, winning a few of them actually. And in terms of WCS outings, like I said, rest in peace, that's old format. Able to really make it to the C bracket, to the C group stage, losing out though to the likes of Ender and into, was that fall? 2019 fall, if I remember correctly. Anyway though, if you do want to see someone with the, basically the newest pedigree as a Protoss player, you gotta look at JusticeSimon. He's on a rampage right now, he's on a rampant looking to make it to the grand finals and have a potential mirror matchup against Quantal. But in the meantime, no sleeping on Chappy. We saw him have a few issues earlier on with latency against Nux, but he was able to still eke it out. Remember Downfall Gaming, and overall, such a potent player in many competitions in both the AU as well as the SEA scene. I remember he was part of the AUS craft, if you guys know about that. So basically at the start of the year, there were players from the AU scene that all went together at the house, and it was like a LAN setup thing. It was really cool. It was all Australian players plus Bliss from Singapore that went on over. So yeah, it was really fun to see a tight-knit community like that have a tournament like that and production like that in basically such a home setting. But anyway though, we're gonna be getting into the action. Treatments on Nightshade already. Queens being built on up here by Chappy, and we have seen this before here from Chappy. He does like getting extra queens before his third hatchery comes on. That's gonna be having some energy, will be very good for the defense as well to add on up to the bulk. In the meantime though, Stalker right now taking care of that Overlord. Poor guy, just really going for the scout as much as possible. Chappy getting a supply block that is gonna be more balloons right now on the egg cycle instead. But in the meantime, for JusticeSimon, he's gonna go for the adept. We'll seal the gap with a Stalker to boots. But what is next on the list? He's gonna cancel actually his assimilator, so we'll go for a focus in terms of minerals into this one. Another gateway actually built. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 production structures, and into the adept upgrade we go. Glave's gonna be looking to be more potent. A Warp Prism gonna come online as well. This might be JusticeSimon putting in the early harassment and might get the killing blow later on with a mass of these adepts. In the meantime, though, for Chappy, Is he gonna be ready for this? Oh no, that is why. That is why we got a little bit of a change, a little bit of a mix-up. JusticeSimon realizing I might be able to exploit this matchup. On the BO3, game number 2 is the one where you can play it a little more risky. And that is a structure to remember. When in doubt, go for the Dark Shrine. When behind, when in front, whenever, whatever you wanted to. Play the Dark Shrine. Dark Templar are the best units. Don't quote me on that. But with Resonating Glades coming online here now for these Adepts, even more of them gonna get warped on and scouted out by Chappy already. Will he reposition? Yes, he does. Roaches and Queens gonna be out in front, but this is a lot of Adepts looking to just outmaneuver and outpower their opponents. The Glades right now gonna be glowing that orange, making sure that the upgrade is noticed. Shades potentially gonna cut off the retreats, and will JusticeSimon go for it? No, on the third base he goes again, looking to eviscerate and evaporate on the hatchery. Damage being done already. More Adepts gonna get warped on in. Dark Shrine gonna be done and dusted as well, and JusticeSimon is gonna go for a 1-2 step. So these Adepts are gonna have no way home besides the Shades. The Warp Prism gonna be looking to be as sneaky as possible. Never mind though, JusticeSimon gonna keep it in behind. Seems like he is gonna go for a more standard approach in this one. And is it gonna be DT? Yes, it is. DT not coming the way of Chappy. Will he be ready for it? Will he actually know that this one is coming? No detection whatsoever as of yet. Right here, right now. Where is the Warp Prism? Where is it going? Where is it on the map? That's gonna be the real question. There we go. We finally find it in the shade of pink. The jungle is out here, and the Shade's gonna be moving on over to try and get the high ground away from Chappy. JusticeSimon in the meantime dropping on down, and this main mineral line is gonna get stricken from the shadows. Damage now being done. The lair gonna take the brunt of the damage. Drone's gonna be able to get on the way. Warp Prism right now with the evacuation. Certainly right now getting for the hits as well. But in the meantime, seems like the Adepts getting out of dodge onto the left-hand side instead. Main base now gonna go down, and Chappy in a bad spot. That's Tech going away. Spore Crawler instead to try and go for the reactionary tail. And in the meantime, Chappy is still trying to find opportunities in the forefront, but JusticeSimon has decided to bring everything else back to bake the death ball of the Protoss. Solid timing there from JusticeSimon, and right here, right now, he is looking to punish his opponent even more. Queens trying to survive, will get taken down there. Where is the army? Nowhere to be seen. And Chappy unable to really respond. 8 drones already going down overall, and even more casualties on the Zerg front. Eventually, though, the DT gonna die for Shakuras. And a potential counterattack for Chappy is on the way. I feel like for Chappy, there is no going home. There is no going back. He has lost out a lot already, and he will be pretty behind in terms of that tech. So he has to make this attack work. He has to make sure his army is potent enough in the first place. He does have a commanding lead into that one, 82 to 55, but the warp cycle might make a difference because JusticeSimon is ready with a prism into enemy lines. Anyway though, JusticeSimon is staying on the high ground. As we've seen from Star Wars, it's pretty much so important to be on that high ground as much as possible. Adepto shading on in yet again. Really throwing some shade, throwing some glaives on. The drone's gonna get pulled instead. In the meantime, third base for JusticeSimon. That's not gonna happen anytime soon. This is a big army from Chappy already. Force fields though, get a few casualties there. Very, very good. Slowly but surely, picking apart his opponent. Gonna be a good way for JusticeSimon to really deal with this in the first place. He is ahead already in that economy, as a few more workers going down to either become buildings or taken down by those Adepts. Still though, structures right here, right now. Production gonna be the Blink Stalkers next on the list. Mobility is key right here, right now, for our Protoss player. Baldo dropping on down yet again. In the meantime, here comes the push on forward. Force fields are there, exposing the movement already, but at the same time, JusticeSimon gonna get caught out actually. Chappy making these balls count. Force fields though, slowing down the approach. Can JusticeSimon hold? Seems like that is gonna be the case. A lot of death and destruction on both sides. Carnage on all fronts. But for now, oh, he kills his own overlord. That's sad. That's just really sad. But hey, for Chappy, still looking pretty okay into this fight. He lost a lot of workers earlier on, so he is going to be behind in the macro economy. But he is trying to keep things up. Unfortunately, the Ravagers are going to get caught on that while trying to drop on down. Shades coming on in yet again. The Adepts, really the tip of the spear into this one. Trading pretty much as possible. But JusticeSimon happy to go for trades like that, due to the fact that he is still ahead in that worker count. Some really good damage overall. Chappy though, proper run on by. 4 Zerglings can make a pretty big difference. Adept in the meantime warped on in yet again, but try and defend. Not bad there from Chappy. Small victories are something that he can rely on. But in the meantime, JusticeSimon having his death ball already in position. Baldo will be able to get connection once Stalker does go down. The force fields forming a funnel. A little dangerous for JusticeSimon to go onto it. Shots now keeping on coming. I think he attacked his own unit twice or something. But for Chappy, he's losing on that. He's running out of Ravagers. He's running out of space to work with. And JusticeSimon looking to hang the noose against his opponent. The Executioner's calling is here and now. And the Stalkers and Immortals looking to make it happen. The drones though are going to get pulled, forming the front line. Blink Stalker right now to get on back. The Immortals going to be tanking into this one. Can they actually get the kill on the Ravagers? Never mind though. GG is called and JusticeSimon books a date with Destiny. And we'll take on Quantzal in our grand finals. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. The semifinal on the top side will be taken by JusticeSimon. Nightshade going his way. But well done still to our Australian compatriots who did participate in today's Ow Die. But that is gonna be the show there. That is gonna be the call into this one. An exciting time overall in that match, but in the end, there can only be one winner. And it seems like the Protoss is that. Everdream, unfortunately, not even gonna get played in this best of 3. And we will move on over, guys, to a BO5 format. Quick little recap, though, of those results. Eternal Empire taken by JusticeSimon, Nightshade taken by JusticeSimon. And you can really say one of the best of the Vietnamese scene showing on up, looking to win the Ow Die Weekly. I'll be right back though. We'll set things up for our next game. That is going to be a PvP. After all the Zerg we featured, apparently it's a Protoss race that gets into the finals. JusticeSimon versus Quantzal coming your way in just a bit.